Hi there, my name is Andy Barrow. I'm one of the AIP AALs, and this video is the next video in our timelining series. If you didn't see the first video, you can catch that on our YouTube channel, and if you did, you'll know that I was explaining all about the use of a timeline when you're trying to really work out how you're going to tell your story for an audience. So what I'm going to do, what I thought would be useful, is to go through my timeline quickly and then take it a step further and show how we can kind of niche that down to a particular theme or a particular subject. So I'll go right ahead and share my screen now and show you the timeline that I use when I'm training. So I think you'll be able to see that now. You can see my particular timeline. I'll go through it very quickly. As I said before, just to reiterate, you're going to have the time or your age on the horizontal axis, and you're going to have the kind of level of emotion of that event, whether it was a negative event down the bottom, whether it was quite neutral, or whether it was a positive event along that vertical axis. So going through my story very quickly, I pick up from where I start sport around the age of 8, 9, 10 years old. I show you where I started playing rugby, my favourite sport, and went off to college. Then obviously a big life-changing event for me, a big drop, very, very tough time for me having my accident, having a spinal cord injury and finding out that I was going to have to use a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So a lot of life changes there, didn't really know at the time what the future would hold for me. And you see the upward curve going through the rehab process, leaving hospital, and then discovering wheelchair rugby. And obviously, we go on into the positives here with a couple of blips. I first get invited onto the GB squad. I miss out on the Sydney games, but then I start getting selected for my first full international tournament. You can see as we go through here, I get a couple of European golds somewhere along the line. 2003, I go to my first Paralympics. 2004, a little blip for an injury. It happens to us all as elite athletes. Luckily, I avoided surgery, so it wasn't too serious. Second European gold. And also around about this time, I was lucky enough to be made captain of the GB team. You can see third European gold, and then we're building into the London 2012 Paralympic Games, which was going to be my final tournament. So I retired after that, and again a little downturn. Starting something new, quite daunting. Starting a business from scratch after leaving the world of sport, which had been my life for many, many years. So you can kind of really see briefly how a timeline works, that you get a really good visual representation of the ups and downs. So you're looking for something similar when you do yours. And if we take it on a notch, I'll show you a different slide. If we were then to try and niche this down a bit, for example, if you were asked to do a speech or a visit all around resilience, what you're going to do, you're going to go back to your previous timeline as it was before, and you're going to think, okay, what were the main points? What were the main things that I could use, the main stories on that timeline that would really demonstrate resilience to an audience? And I've picked out 5 right here. So I thought all the 5 biggest stories for me that would show that would be coming back from one of my hardest points, from that realization that, yep, my injury was permanent. I was going to have to learn to live my life as a person with a disability, and everything that held. Now, I later realized that that was a positive. So you're looking at turning negatives into positives. It's all part of that resilience thread. The second one, missing out on the Sydney Paralympics. That was a knockback for me professionally. I wasn't good enough to go, but at the time you think, oh God, am I going to make it? So that was another time where my resilience was tested. Thirdly, my injury, right in the middle of your international career, and you're thinking, okay, everything's going well, and all of a sudden you can't train, you can't control that, you can't do anything at all. The fourth thing for me would have been missing out on bronze at the Beijing Paralympic Games in 2008. So I always describe that as the worst moment of my career professionally. That was really, really hard. But again, it taught me something. I went right on through it, and I hit my 5th bump in the road, which was, I think, as I said right at the top, retiring, you know, and going from being a relative expert in one field to an absolute novice in another. So what I've done there is I've picked out those 5 main things. Now, your theme could be anything, doesn't have to be resilience. That was just an example, but it shows how you can really start using this timeline and really digging deeper into your story. And it's just an excellent way to do that. Now, in the next video, we're going to go in even further on these 5 points and show how to then develop them into stories all of their own and put different stages into each one of those 5 points. But for now, that's just a really good representation of how to use your timeline in a more practical way, and shows just how valid that can be. Okay, make sure you check back for the next video in this series. Thanks very much.